Here we have the Carnegie Library, which was built in 1929. It replaced the original Carnegie Library, which was situated down on the Bridge Road and was burnt down by the Black and Tans in 1914 as a reprisal for the assassination of an ex-RIC policeman. The original funding came from the Carnegie Trust in America. And when the truce was signed and reparations were being paid for buildings like this that were damaged, a claim was put in, but the amount of money that was offered was not sufficient to rebuild the library. And a condition of getting the money that was being offered was that it had to be rebuilt. So the people of Listowel got onto the Carnegie Trust in America, and they very generously came up a second time and provided enough of funds to build this. Recently, the Kerry County Council has taken over the library and built a new library near the courthouse. And this is now turned into a youth centre.
This is very important.
Very important here.
Där kommer han kvar sin switch bara så det syns.
Lite från igång. Inte kopplingen i huvudet.
Have you a chair? Same how you can. Yeah.
Yes, and you.
It's right.
Even though that's what I don't really have to. Lovely dry morning for you.
It is.
How are you, John? Keeping good. Great. Sure, the morning like that. After rest. And after being bombarded with monster reviews.
Jolly good.
I'm Mr. Orlando. Mr. Orlando.
He read more books out than anyone out of that library.
Hello there. Who's this lady, you know?
Noreen Harrigan.
Maureen Harrigan.
Remember John Harrigan, the footballer?
I do well.
His brother. A good footballer he was. Style.
And a good shoulder, John. No.
Morning, how are you? You went to Carnegie.
I'm one of the Hanneman days to take on it. Get on to him, the under 21, carrying Waterford, and it was a beautiful day. I never forget it now. I went into travel, to Roscoe, and then went out to Paddy Dunno, his name was. He had the usual Jarvis.
Where's Marie?
No. Yeah. Public now. Has it?
I think so.
They got the train now.
Hello, today, the maid, I just came in today.
Joe.
And this was on top of it.
The maid digest, yeah.
We all deserve a decent library. So we're getting one now.
Huh?
A coincidence, though, isn't it?
Just a coincidence.
I've been quite glad to meet you. Thanks for all your help.
Morning.
Tánaiste, you're welcome. How are you?
Let's switch different.
Dick, how are you? Nice to see you, Tánaiste. This is the building that you don't know how to build. I'm just outside your door. How are you?
Kerry County Council and of the Kerry County Library Committee, Father Leahy, Captain Hardy, public representatives and distinguished guests. It is my pleasant function here this morning to welcome you all on this very significant occasion for the town of Listowel. When one considers the heritage, and particularly the literary heritage of Listowel and North Kerry, I think there's no more appropriate town in the country to be performing a function like opening this modern state-of-the-art library here this morning. To mark the occasion, a number of people want to welcome you and share some thoughts with you. And I'm going to first of all call on the chairman of the Listowel Urban District Council, Councillor Marie Gorman, to speak with you. Thank you.
Tánaiste Jimmy Dean, Chairman of Kerry County Council, Chairman of the Library Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome here to Listowel this morning. It's a pity the sun isn't shining, but it's still a nice dry day. It's very fitting that we should open this library here today. It's a magnificent building, and also I would like to welcome here Dr. Brian McMahon and Dr. John B. Keane. And it is fitting that in a town the size of Listowel, which has such a literary tradition, that we should have a building of this type and size here in the town, and quality as well. And it is a great privilege for me today to open this in my term of office in the council. I would also like to remember at this point, I think going way back for many years, Listowel it was pioneered by somebody like the late Eamon Walsh, who first initiated that we should have a library here, and he worked quite hard for that over the years. And that, along with Albert Kennedy, who was on the library committee for many years, he also did Trojan work, and they're the people from this area who made it clear to the library committee that we wanted a library, and we have it here today, and it's a magnificent building, and I would like to thank all people associated with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. The Kerry County Council is the library authority for the entire county, and I'm now going to call on the Chairman of Kerry County Council, Councillor Tommy Foley, to speak with you.
Tánaiste, Chairperson of Listowel Urban Council, distinguished guest, Minister Dean, you're all welcome here this morning. It gives me great pleasure as Chairman of Kerry County Council to be here at this function this morning. A public library, in my opinion, is for information, education, culture and the arts, and above all a community service. I think the Kerry County Council are on the forefront in this development, what is good for the people. I think children are very important in a library. It has been the policy in the past and will be the policy in the future of the Library Committee with Kerry County Council to encourage children to read, because I think a child with a book in its hand is an important start for a community, for a country, for a nation, for the future. I think students are very valuable, and in the libraries the value of a student is found where they can get their research. Adults are very important as well to be involved in the library. Retired people who are retired, I think find a great advantage and a comfort that they can go to a library and get a book. And above all, and more as importantly of course, is that we have a lot of unemployed people in our country at the moment, and an unemployed person would find great value in having a book as well. I know you didn't come here to listen a lot to me this morning. I would have to say that the Tánaiste has been instrumental and has to be thanked by me as Chairman of Kerry County Council in providing the finances and making it available, and I'm delighted that he is here with us this morning. I think it's a great pride to be Chairman of the County Council, to find one of our own at the top to be here this morning. In conclusion, I'd like to thank the management of Kerry County Council, who have been always at the forefront in the development of what libraries and the library is all about, and not forgetting the valuable contribution made by the Library Committee. I've been on the Library Committee for 4 years now, and I find the people who are with me, the members that you elect on the Library Committee, are striving to the utmost to achieve what is good for libraries in County Kerry. And last but by no means least, the library management under Kay Brown. I think they proved their ability beyond any doubt just 2 weeks ago in Tralee at the National Conference of the Libraries, where not alone did they attract people from Ireland to this conference, but from abroad as well. They surpassed themselves in enhancing what the value of tourism is all about, because I and many more met people from abroad and from within the country who will be coming back to Kerry for holidays. And that is through the endeavours of Kay Brown and our staff. I'd like publicly here this morning to thank them for being along with.
Thank you, Chairman. That Kerry County Library Committee that you referred to comprises members of Kerry County Council and of the urban districts of Tralee, Killarney and Listowel. Its chairman is Councillor Tom Fleming, and I now ask Councillor Fleming to address you.
Tánaiste, distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to speak to you here today as Chairman of the Kerry County Library Committee. the Kerry County Library Committee have worked with great dedication and commitment down through the years in providing a proper library service for all sections of the communities in the county. And during that time, all through, we have received the full support of the members of Kerry County Council and of the management at all times. New library services are provided in practically all towns of the county, in the county at the moment, and I'm very happy to say that here today that preparation plans are being prepared at the moment for a new library in the town that is nearest to me, myself personally, is Castleisland. And I'm sure that we have the Tánaiste is here today with us, and I would no need of mentioning that, but I would ask him that when the time comes that he will give his full financial support. I'm sure that he will, as he's done for this library here in Tralee, and I'm sure that his sister Maeve is keeping him well informed, as she is a member of the Library Committee of the progress and with the developments for Castleisland. I would like to pay a very special tribute here today to the former members of the Kerry County Library Committee, as already has been mentioned by the chairman of Listowel UDC, the late Amy Welsh. It was really something very close to his heart was the provision of a new library here for Listowel. And he was definitely worked effortlessly down through the years. He brought it up at practically every meeting. Following his untimely death, it was carried on further by Albert Kennedy, Councillor Albert Kennedy, who unfortunately is not with us. He has been with us up to 2 years ago. And up to recent times, we have Jimmy Deanahan was a former member of the committee, and until his promotion to government. And as it is, I think that there should be a special thanks to those people for their efforts. I would like to thank, I suppose I must mention the county librarian Kathleen Brown for her great dedication, and she's a very capable person, and she's really been to the forefront with the committee at all times in forward planning regarding new buildings and book stock, etc. And I would like to finally thank the Tánaiste for being with us here today to perform.
Thank you, Tom. Minister of State Jimmy Deanahan is, as Tom has said, a former member of that committee, and the Minister wants to say a word with you.
Tánaiste, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, when I came in this morning, Sister DePazzi, who was down there, passed me on a page from May's Reader's Digest, and again the headline is, "We all deserve a decent library." So it's very appropriate today that this should be in the Reader's Digest just this month, because certainly Listowel deserves a decent library, and I think you would all agree that this is a spectacular library, very modern, with all the facilities that a good library should have. And I would like to thank and again acknowledge the contribution that various people have made over the years to the building of this library. A successive number of library committees sought to have the old library repaired first, then it was decided that we should build a new library. And contributions from Amy Welsh, Albert Kennedy, and other library members over the years from North Kerry to the present day ones, Tim Buckley, who's here today, Pat Leahy, and also Dennis Stack, they're on the present library committee. Also, I think it's only right to acknowledge the great work by Kay Brown, Pat Welch and her staff. As when the planning was going on for this, I was chairman of the library committee, and I realise only too well the amount of effort and attention to detail that Kay Brown and Pat Welch and their staff paid to this building. I think that should be acknowledged. Also, there were times when there were problems about design and so forth and financing, and at all times it was steered through by those officials. And indeed, the support of the former manager, not only this manager, Paddy Darcy, Tom Collins, because when the new library was being proposed, I remember quite vividly in Kerry County Council, there were some reservations about it, but I must say that Tom Collins was very receptive to the ID. And also, there's another member of that library committee here as well today, and he supported the application on that occasion. I must acknowledge he's present here, Dennis Foley. I remember when it came up at that time, and he's in the audience today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would hope that this is probably the first part of essential infrastructure that will have to be provided in this town if we are to fully exploit our huge literary wealth. And it's great to see the father figures of this town here today, Dr. Brian McMahon and Dr. John B. Keane, with us. While these people are with us, it's so important to further exploit our great literary wealth and potential here in Listowel. And I should hope that the next opening we will have in this whole area will be an Kerry Literary Centre here in the town. And later today the committee will be discussing the matter with the Tánaiste. Hopefully this will be the next stage of the development. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are a large number of people here who have been, I think, very supportive of the whole literary team in North Kerry. And I would just like to acknowledge her presence here today, Kitty Hearn, who again has been very supportive of all developments of in the whole literary area here in North Kerry. And to other members of the library committee as well, and they're down there, Ted Fitzgerald, Pat Joe Cronin, who've been always supportive of Listowel and of the idea of providing a new library here. And could I say, as chairman of the library committee, we must have one of the best committees in the county, in our library committee. They don't say a whole pile, but they are very effective. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, just acknowledging the quality of this building, and Sean O'Leary is down with us today, and his design team, and also the builder Miley Holly, who is a local man. I think this has been a great effort, and it's a day for celebration for this town, and I think we should all rightly celebrate on this tremendous occasion. Thanks very much for your attention.
Thank you, Minister. As you said, the building before you was designed by the firm of Murray O'Leary and Associates, and Sean O'Leary is with us today. And can I ask Sean to come up here and say a word to you, please?
Tánaiste, Tánaiste, friends, I have to say I'm taken a little bit by surprise, and I'll be very brief. I had told I might be asked to say a few words at some point, and this is far ahead of that particular occasion, which I thought might be after lunch. But that being said, my thoughts were wandering in the direction of the analogues between knowledge, libraries, politics, law, all those sort of things. And I know that the sort of themes that were going around in my mind were ideas about partnership, transparency, and letting the light in, which I think is a good metaphor for a library, and obviously applies to many other aspects of life as well. In short, we had the privilege as architects, together with my design team colleagues, have been asked to design this library. Architecture and many other aspects of life are not always free of controversy. This building was no exception. I would like to think that when you see the final product, that we have hopefully brought some light in and made it accessible to a noble and wonderful community. I should like to take this opportunity to thank my partners in the whole process, Kay Brown and her team, and my colleagues on the design team, and thank the people of Listowel and the county manager for their patronage.
Thank you, Sean. And the library was, as you said, built by local builder Michael Holly. Michael, will you say something to us?
Tánaiste, Chairperson of the Listowel Urban Council, Minister Dean, distinguished guests. I'm delighted to be here today at the opening of this very fine library. I'd like to thank the Kerry County Council for awarding us the contract. Although we're a Naplow-based company, we come from Tarbert, and any excuse to get down here is much appreciated. And if you can manage to make a few shillings as well, that helps. This was one of those jobs that it started a couple of weeks late, but we had a tremendous team here, and we managed to finish two days ahead of schedule. And for that, I'd like to thank David Devlin of Murray O'Lear Architects, Carl Sheehy of Malone O'Regan McGillicuddy, Paddy Rogan Services, David O'Neill Quantity Surveyors, and Daniel Hurley of the Kerry County Council. We had tremendous help from all those people on site. It went extremely smoothly, and even though starting late and with bad weather, we still finished a couple of days ahead of time, and we made a few bob as well, which I know you'll be all very pleased to hear. I just like to wish Kathleen Brown the best of luck in the running of this very fine library. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Now, as has been said, the Kerry County Manager and his predecessor have always been very supportive of the library service. And can I ask the Kerry County Manager, Mr. Paddy Darcy, to talk with you?
Tánaiste, Minister, Chairpersons, Councillors and friends and colleagues. I hate to think how many speeches we had for building the Taj Mahal. I'd say we'd probably go on all day. But however, now that we're here, I suppose we've got to finish the job. It reminds me, I can remember being over this building a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, with the Urban District Council, where we laid out really, I'm looking at Ned Sullivan down there, and a few of the lads, but where we laid down the foundation of the development plan for this area. We actually acquired the land across the way from the County for the building, and we bought the rest of it down here. And I'd say we're about 8/10 of the way through now, that development plan, which was a kind of a vision a number of years ago, and I suppose it's nice to see these things happening on the ground. We're always conscious of the fact that, first of all, the old building, which was called the Carnegie building, and incidentally, I was told quite recently, was never endowed by the Carnegie Trust, even though it was a sign over the door, which is probably another story altogether in the annals of Listowel, was to some extent not quite up to the mark. I can remember going in there about 5 or 6 years ago, up to the upper floor, where in fact the rain was coming through the roof, and seeing these beautiful minute books on the floor from Killarney Urban District Council, and ringing the town clerk and saying, "Have you got all the minute books going back to 1850? Oh, of course I have, of course I have. But I said, you must be missing some, because there's a pile of them up here in the store, come up and get them. So stuff like that kind of flies around. I would like to think of a library as part of the whole cultural element, not just books, the whole cultural element of Kerry. Kerry is probably the richest cultural county in the state. It has marvellous people of song and dance and reading, and we really haven't touched it at all. We really haven't got down to it. And it's great to see Brian McMahon and John B. Keane here, because these are giants in relation to this whole area. And we're delighted to have been associated with, if you like, building this particular library for people to learn and to enjoy and to educate it. Because I was just saying to Brian McMahon early on, we've come a long way in Ireland, and I'd say the basis of it has been education, and a library is the first element of education. While I'm talking, I'd just like to say that Eileen O'Sullivan, who's the local librarian, unfortunately is sick. I would like to send her our best regards. I'd like specifically to thank the design team, Sean O'Leary. It might have been controversial, Sean. I always believed in you. I think you're a great architect. I'd like to thank David O'Neill, Michael Holly and the design team, and particularly our own staff, because they put in an amount of work from the legal department all the way down to all the people who have things to do, because we're public servants, and as I said before, it's our duty and our privilege to serve. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Manager. Now we're at the end of our speeches, but before I call on Tánaiste to officially open the building, can we ask Reverend Father Leahy and Captain Hardy to bless the building?
Father of all, look with love and mercy on us as we gather to dedicate this library for your glory and the service of this community. Enrich our minds and hearts with the wisdom and beauty of the ages, and help us to grow in our understanding of your goodness and power and glory. We praise your name for ever and ever. Amen.
Father of light and wisdom, we praise you for your gifts, for giving us the power to see and the ability to write and read. Help us to use these gifts for your greater honour and glory and for the benefit of all your people. And we'll now ask the Lord to bless this beautiful building and to bless and care for all who will use it in the years ahead, and as well all those who will be running it here. Bless this library and grant that all who use it may grow in wisdom and grace before you and all your people. And we'll bless you all now, ask the Lord to bless you all who are here today for this opening of this beautiful building. May Almighty God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit give us blessing to you forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Leahy and Captain Hardy. Now it's my great pleasure to call on Tánaiste and Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Dick Spring, to officially open the library building.
Thank you, Secretary, Chairman, Chairperson of Listowel Urban District Council, Chairman of the County Council, Minister of State, Oireachtas members, councillors, distinguished guests. I'd like to thank all of my supporting players up here on the platform for all the warm-up speeches, which have you now truly frozen out there. And in fact, as a former member of the County Library Committee, I'm very glad to be here this morning. I'm not sure that words are necessary at all, because the building speaks for itself, and that's probably the antithesis to opening a library. I have a long speech here for all the journalists from the Financial Times and the London Independent, but I'll give it to them afterwards. And let me say to any journalist out there, could we, on this occasion, not have the headline we had when we opened the new hospital in Tralee? We opened the new hospital in Tralee about 10 years ago, and the headline in the Kerryman the following week was, "Old Hospital to Close." So can we please avoid "Old Library to Close"? In a county never short of optimism, can we please have the positive headline on this occasion? I am delighted to be with friends, and this is indeed a great day for Listowel. I have to say that since the days I practiced law in that building up there with Tim Desmond on the bench, this area has improved immensely, and let's hope, as has been said this morning, it's going to continue improving. This building, they tell me, cost about £350,000. I have no idea how much of that Mick Holly has in his back pocket. If I was Brendan Kennelly, I'd call it some other pocket. But great credit is due to the design team, to the builder, and to all associated with it. Every workman, and I hope perhaps even workwoman, if there were women working on site, that contributed to this building. It's a credit to everybody involved. It's also, I think, a credit to Listowel. And of course, Listowel is a place that should have an excellent library facility for all the reasons that have been said. Listowel is very important in the literary traditions of not just County Kerry, but indeed of English literature. Somebody said to me recently, when we were doing something in relation to Morris Walsh, he said, we thank the English for their language, we gave them their literature in return. I also take note of what Tom Fleming has said in relation to Castle Island, in relation to Castle Island wanting a new library. That's going to cost me about another £350,000. And before I come out of the Listowel Arms, they tell me that they want £1 million at least for a literary centre. But if I get out of here today with only a request for 1.3 million, sure, it's not a bad Monday at all. Again, many people have been thanked. I would like to be associated with those thanks, because this project didn't happen overnight. It took many meetings, many years of planning, of haranguing, of putting pressure at local level, and indeed at national level to provide the money to build this excellent facility. I congratulate Kathleen Brown and Pat Walsh and their team in relation to the administration of the library services in this county, which are excellent, and I wish them well for the future. And obviously, this is extremely important. The manager has said the library isn't just for coming in to read books. It's part of the culture of this town, and I would hope that it becomes part of the culture of North Kerry. That for young and old, that we can avail of this facility. It's an excellent facility. I'm not too worried about the controversy or the arguments about the design. You should be around Dublin, up around the Keys, if you want real controversy for architects. We won't go into that. So again, congratulations to all involved. It's a project worth supporting, perhaps indeed worth waiting for. And I congratulate Kerry County Council for their foresight and vision down through the years in ensuring that we have excellent library facilities right throughout the county. So with that, I thank the Council for the invitation to be with you today, congratulate all involved, and I would be associated with the words of thanks to those who have gone before us, who worked very hard for this project down through the years. I'm sure many frustrating meetings, but all good things come obviously eventually. And I'd also like to welcome John B. and Brian McMahon to be with us today. They are the literary giants, and long may they keep producing the goods here from the town of Listowel. As I said, we're always slightly envious over in Tralee, while you have all the great literary brains around North Kerry, but maybe someday we'll get some literary giant emerging from Tralee one of these years. Perhaps when we go back to Tralee, we can take some of the genius from the milk, if not from something stronger. In conclusion, somebody was surprised, Sean O'Leary was surprised we're making the speeches before lunch. Can you imagine how long they take after lunch? Thank you all very much. Sure. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Tánaiste. Can I now invite you all who wish to down to the library and see it?
Chairman, congratulations on your Right,
Thanks, John. John, don't get us to tell you that. That's the old joke.
Yeah. 3 cows. John is there again. John is there again. Yes.
I'll tell you.
We did. It's beautiful. Right, bye now.
Let's take this in.